The Karen Show. The Karen Show. The Karen Show. Let's go. Let's go. The Karen Show.
I forgot I muted myself and took the camera off. Sorry, just doing something there. Well, here I am. Only a short one today. Just wanted to talk about a few things. I've warned the children, well, most of them, that I'm going live, so hopefully not too much noise while I'm about. So anyway, here's Enzo. Hey, Enzo. I was fast. Poor old Enzo. Tell everyone what's happened to your Facebook account, Enzo, before I get into things.
Someone basically hijacked. Zero access to it and no way of getting back in.
Ooh. Oh, well, I'd be annoyed if that happened to me, because I've got a lot of things on my personal page, not the group page goes, but my personal page, because I've got, probably like you, I've got photographs and messages from my son, for example, that are still there. So I'd be a bit annoyed, but are you feeling better without having the access to the Facebook, or are you a bit lost?
I mean, obviously, there's things like this, and I'm sure you sent something to me. I'm sure, but
I did,
and
I didn't.
Did not get any responses back, I would hope, because it wasn't me. So I don't know.
No. Yeah, no, I didn't get a response back. I thought, oh, that's unusual. But there you go. But I didn't. Yes, Enzo said, as you can see in the chat, Enzo said that he emailed me in my Doof, but I don't use Doof anymore. Yeah, I just use my personal one, which is in the description of the channel if anyone wants to send me emails. I was going to tell you, I'm a bit concerned. I'll just tell you why. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? There it is. So when I went to Scotland, and everybody might notice that, just before I start, Tanya, hello, and Jonathan, hello. And Jonathan, I have seen you going live and stuff. And I haven't even said hello, but I haven't watched. I've just seen that you're live. I thought, he's driving to work, and then I've been off doing other stuff. I'm getting ready for a holiday. Anyway, back to what I was going to say. When I went to Scotland, as you would know, and probably everybody has been missing her, Maisie Rose. Okay, and I thought, what's going on? Then I remembered, because I've emailed her with no answer. The last time I heard from Maisie, she wasn't very well at all, and she was in hospital. Okay. I've got a really bad feeling, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. And if anybody knows her personally, but then I do have her phone number, and I messaged her. I forgot I had a phone number because of WhatsApp. I had it on the WhatsApp, you see, and I forgot all about WhatsApp because I barely use it. And I thought, how did I contact her that day to work out where we would meet? WhatsApp. So I went into WhatsApp. I've messaged her. I haven't a reply, and you can tell if anyone's looked at the message. No one's looked at the message. So I don't know. I'm a bit concerned, and I'm a bit sad. So I hope she's okay. I hope so. And I hope, what are you going to do? But if anybody knows, which probably that you don't, but if anyone has seen her and I've just missed it, I don't know. But yeah, no answers. So I am a bit concerned about our friend Maisie Rose. So fingers crossed she's okay. That's all I'll say. Yes, the reason I was going to talk today, I've been when I can, watching a few little things, and I've noticed that Mythos, Carl, has been putting up a couple of videos of late which have cracked me up. You wouldn't have seen him, Enzo, but he's been talking about fake mediums and stuff like that, people who say they said dead people. And I had my fair share over the years. I mean, I'm getting old now, and over my time, I've believed very much in the fact that there's could be real mediums out there, you know, people that can really talk to dead people. And I don't know, as you get older and once you lose somebody and you realize, so do I believe in mediums? I don't know, but I've been watching Mythos's things on them and they're friggin' funny, and it got me to thinking. And so that's why, and if anyone hasn't seen them, go over to Mythos, his channel, and check out the last couple he's popped up. He did one which he only put up today, which cracked me up, and it was where he was watching someone explain what it is that a medium sees, like how the medium actually visualizes the dead people. And it was super funny. But anyway, hi Carla, hi Fats Rabbits, Renee, hello. So check out Mythos and you'll understand why I got a little bit, I'm going to talk about it, because I've and anyone in the chat, if you've gone to see a medium and been fooled, I've gone to mediums and not realized how they do what they do. And now I know how they do what they do. I wouldn't bother going to a medium, if that makes sense. But yeah, I've gone to mediums and I've sat there and they've told me, oh, they're very good at how they do it. They're assholes actually, but they're good at how they do it because you give them the information without actually realizing that you do it. So they might say something along the lines of, oh, you've lost someone very close to you. And then they'll describe, I think it's a man. And of course they're waiting for you to go, oh, yes. Do you know what I mean? And you get sucked in. You get sucked in. It's very easy, especially when you're, a friend might say, oh, you've got to go and see this person. They're really good. And then you trust your friend and you go, and then you don't realize it. I decided to test it a little bit in years gone by. I haven't been to see one for, I don't know, how long's Stephen been gone? About 4 years, I suppose. The last person I saw told me that my son, who already had 2 daughters, was going to give me more grandchildren. I thought, okay. I said, how's he going to do that? He's dead. And the woman just stared at me and I said, I think we'll end this now. And that was the last time I ever went to one, because I realized you think about it and then you do, and you think about it and you think, shit, I actually told them. Like I understand that, their excuses are, oh, we just want validation. Well, shouldn't really need validation if you're actually speaking to a dead person that is connected to me. Like if you can speak and see the dead person, they should be able to validate it for you. But I kind of get it a little bit. Maybe they just want to be sure they're on the right track. You can just say, oh, yeah, sounds good. But that's it. Hi, Rudy. How are you? So, yeah, it's interesting. And I just thought there's so many, Fats, it is. And it's so disappointing that when you realize you've been tricked and you realize that the people that are doing these readings, they just want money from you. Or you might have people who say, oh, I'm a sensitive. Everyone's friggin' got empathy within them. Everyone can be sensitive. Everyone can walk into a room and feel the atmosphere. Everyone. It's a human thing, right? It's just some people choose not to care and some people care too much. So when people go, oh, I get really upset, I get drawn in to the bad feelings in the room and I can feel this and that. Yeah, so can I. It's called, ooh, I wonder what went on in here before I walked in. When you walk in on someone who's just had an argument and they're just sitting there. You don't need to know they just had an argument. You can freaking feel it.
Yeah.
So does that make me a medium? No, it makes me a
Well,
human.
actually, it kind of does. I do feel like everybody has that gut
Gut,
feeling about certain things like that, where you can't explain it. You know, you may catch little things that don't really, if you think about it, don't make a lot of sense. It's like, wait a minute, I can see this person's body language versus, you know, maybe a stern look or something like that. But you piece that all together, it's like, oh, these two just had a big argument right before I walked in. So that's a little bit. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a sixth sense, so to speak, but there, and as Renee says, there are some out there that some people get a lot out of it. So
yeah. And look, that's what I mean. I'm no longer believe, but I'll be happy to, even with ghosties, I'll be happy for someone to come forward and prove it. Like, just because I don't believe anymore, I used to believe, I was a sucker, but now it's like, oh, piss off, you know, stop it. You can't. You know, I can, for example, Fats, I know how to read tarot cards because when I was a little girl, my mother was obsessed by all of this stuff. My mum would make me take part in seances at freaking 10 years old, right? My mum was obsessed, and she knew how to read them, and then somebody taught me how to read them. So I can read tarot. I can do a tarot card reading, and all the tarot cards are, truthfully, you learn how to connect each card to the next and the one before it. So it's a connection thing. You lay out the cards, and each card has a meaning that can go either way, all right? And then the card that's next to it, side, whatever, however you put it out, they all interconnect. So it tells a story. So what's happening when you're doing a reading is the person that you're doing a reading for, you tell the story, and as you go along, they'll go, oh yeah, oh, I know that, or you'll say, so does that connect with you? And oh yeah, that connects with me. So it's up to the person being read as to how they take the story. And it's not a fortune telling thing. People think, oh, you can tell someone's future with the tarot cards. And no, that's not what it is. Never has been just supposed to be doing that. It's really used as a guidance tool, like counseling, you know. So you tell a story and the person takes what they want from that reading and looks within themselves as to how they might want to continue on with what they're doing. So that's what the tarot is. So I know how to do it, but that's just what the tarot is, right? So, but other people like to believe it's a fortune telling thing, that, oh, you've got a special gift if you can read the tarot. No, you learn how to read the tarot. You don't have to have a special gift to do it. So what gets me is that some people charge money and say, hey, I'll give you a tarot reading. I'll tell you your future and your fortune. But that's not really what they're doing. They just need to say, I know how to read the tarot. I'll give you a reading, take from it what you will. That's it. It's just what it is.
right, and for as far as like tarot goes, there's like you said, there's very much a specific way it lays out and tells its story. And there's advice you could give. It's like, okay, it's saying this, which leads to this, you know, these next steps. And in that kind of situation, you want to make sure your friends are close, or whatever that story, whatever the scenarios it is building up, which usually end up being some pretty good life advice, is kind of how it's all laid out, to where you can make the decision on your own. It's not specifically saying you need to go play the lottery tomorrow. Here are the numbers. You'll become a bazillionaire and donate half of it to this person or whatever. It doesn't go that specific. None of these fortune telling level type things are like that.
No. And Renee, interesting. Tell me what that means to you, clairvoyant, as in what is it that why, how, why do you think that? Because it's interesting to me, because I've had friends and still have a couple that also say that they are or they're a medium. Lovely people, but never ever any of them have ever convinced me of their gift. They say they are, and they'll say things, but this isn't you, Renee, because I don't know you, but people I know will say things like, oh, I feel he's around. I feel he's around you. He's looking over your shoulder. I just know I can see him. He's telling me to tell you not to worry. And I'm like, oh. I'm amazed I'm still friends with them. But do you know what I mean? It's very, very hard. Oh, Tanya. No, he didn't. No, he
Not
didn't.
me.
Yeah, quickly tell Tanya again what's happened, because she's coming a bit late.
A few days ago, my Facebook account was hacked, and I have no access to it now. I can't even though I have like second and third party authentication, whoever got into it rolled right through all of that stuff. I went to go redo it. It's like, well, send you a new password to this email, which is not my email. Okay, send me a thing just to my phone. The list of phone numbers, there was like 20 phone numbers in there. Only one of them was mine. And after the first time that I tried it, my number was then gone off of that list for sending me authentication stuff. So it's like, that's it, I'm out. Like,
Tanya's very disappointed.
sorry. But I'm sure Fakenzo was a very nice person and may be able to help you out.
And look, as I say, and this is for Renee, I'm not saying I'm 62 years old, okay? And I've lived with all of my life, I've lived with this fortune teller stuff. My mum, as I say, was right into it, to the point that as growing up, I believed, because that's what happens. I believed all that. Oh, this is pretty interesting. I still believe in something greater than us. I still believe it is 100% possible that someone could converse with someone on the other side. It's possible. I still haven't seen proof, 100% proof. I've seen people do things and thought to myself, fuck. For example, I'll show you an old picture. If I can, hang on, where's it gone? Present. Don't laugh at me. Share screen. Window. Share. See? I've been to see John Edwards twice. And what I'll tell you about John Edwards is, despite people saying he's fake and all that, he well may be, whatever. I credit him and his work, what he does, to me actually still being here. Because if it wasn't for him, and the things that he could share, so he does. How can I put this? If he's faking what he does, he's freaking good at faking it. I would love for him to, for example, the Kenny Biddle's magazine, whatever it is, I would love for him to go prove that what he does is real. I would love for that. But him himself and his channel and the people that are around him, very nice people. I've met a few, not just because I went to his thing. There's a lady in Brisbane area that conveys things with him as well, talks to him. But he has a channel, he has a web page where people that are grieving can go and you can read up on different techniques to help you with the grieving process, stuff like that. And if not for me watching and listening and reading his books, I probably wouldn't be here. I can tell you now, I was in a really, after Stephen died, I didn't want to be here. It was a struggle, and for whatever reason I was drawn to watch his stuff. So is he a fake medium? I don't know. I hope not. What he does when you see him live, as I say, I don't know how he does it. I do know how they're supposed to do it. I do understand, but the only way sometimes that he could fake what he does is if he actually knew the people and had already spoken to them and already set this up. So I don't know. That's where I'll stand with John Edwards. But yeah, so I'll give him that much. But I still don't. I'm not convinced. And anyone who takes money to do it, I don't believe you. If you take money, like, you shouldn't take money. If you've got a gift and you can really, really see people and you can really help someone who's grieving, why would you want to, like, that's what I mean. That's the confusing thing for me. But then maybe I'm just too nice. I don't know. What do you reckon, Enzo?
Well, it is one of those things where if you're going to see someone like that, you already generally are going to be predisposed to believe them. And if you're really trying to seek out very specific answers, you're going to be more receptive to anything that they say. And there is, the classic cold reading style thing, which is basically a magic trick. And it's one of those things where, and I'm not saying that's everybody, including Renee, but it is one of those things where whenever they start in on their spiel, they're asking you the questions and going through it all. It's very structured and very designed to where you feel like you're in control of that conversation, but you really aren't.
Yeah. And you're right, Fats. I think I said this once before. Enzo, what's the name of that drug? I can't remember. It starts with A. You go down to, South America and take a drug and we see aliens.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah, I would love to do that, only because I would love to, not because I think I'm going to talk to the dead or whatever, but I've seen, God, what's his name? The fellow, he's a reporter, but it's architectural. He's on Joe a bit. He's, I've forgotten his name. He did it. Joe's done it. A lot of people, like well-known people, have actually done it.
Oh,
probably
Graham Hancock is who you're talking about.
Yes, Graham did it. And they all, it's interesting. It's interesting to me because they all say, it's like once they sort of go out, space out, whatever, they've got people around to protect them so they don't do anything stupid. But they see not dead people, they see strange looking people, alien looking even, and have the
elves.
The machine elves, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I so want to experience that. I reckon that'd be really cool, and just see. They say it changes them a little. They say
there have been clinically controlled trial experiments with that, with people in different locations, microdosing certain amounts of that, and they're going in basically like explorers, where they describe these entities, and the landscape and all that, and two physically separated, never met each other, never talked to each other groups are describing the same things.
Yeah.
And if it's a bizarre hallucination where your mind's eye is just making stuff up for your head, then it wouldn't be the same. It should be radically different. But they're describing the exact same entities.
Sorry, I'm muted for a minute because a child's in here moving kitty litter around. I am in the garage, folks. It is interesting, and that's the thing. That they all say very similar things, and like you say, it's not like you and I going somewhere together, and you say you've experienced it, then I do it, and then I go, I experienced the exact same thing. I'd be very, very interested to try it, but obviously safely. Not allowed to do it here in Australia. Maybe that'll have to be my next holiday, save up to go to South America. I'd probably never come back. My organs would get harvested. Oh, my God. Hey, Laura. I don't know. It's all it's all so interesting. Actually, Renee, if you're speaking, I'm assuming you're speaking about John Edwards. I have seen him get very specific down to details about walking down steps into someone's cellar and what photos and pictures are on the wall. Now, how the hell he did that, I don't know. Like I say, might already know the person, but it's some very specific details. And I saw him do it live as well. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. So I don't know. And yeah, he the only thing I thought was really funny was that day I met him, and I still don't know, because he doesn't, when you go to these things, you buy a ticket, he doesn't know who you are, and then you get the VIP experience and you can get your photo taken with him, whatever. You don't get time to talk to him, have a conversation. It's just, hello, John, hi, click, and off you trot, right? But I still don't know, because I walked up, everyone else is getting their photo taken. All right. And it's like, hi, John, hi, click. Hi, John, hi, click. Bye. And when it got to me and I went through, I was a bit like, you can probably tell by the photo, I was like, oh, it's John Edward. He smells nice. Anyway, I go up and I get my photo taken. And as I'm walking away, he goes, he said, have a safe journey home. I went, okay, thank you. And I walked away. I was the only one he spoke to, the only one he said anything to. I thought, why would he? And I had travelled a long way to see him. I'd caught the train, which was like a 3-hour trip down to see him. And I thought, what? Again, this is how we can get tricked, I suppose. But I was the only one he spoke to. And for him to say, he could have said,
or he may have heard you speaking to someone and heard your Australian accent and knew you were from not.
Oh, no. He was in Australia.
Oh, he was in Australia. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was in Melbourne. So yes, otherwise yes, but no. And I just thought, what an odd thing to say. I should have turned around and go, oh, what do you mean? And I didn't. I just walked away. So I did think that was a bit strange. But anyway, whatever. Yes, I've had Reiki. Don't. I won't go there. Yes, I've had Reiki. I was very annoyed. I thought, can't someone just give me a massage? So I only have massages now, Renee. I don't. Yeah. Yes, I have, but nothing happened. Maybe I don't know. That's what I mean. I do think a lot of things are good. I do. I'm not saying they don't work for other people. Maybe I'm just too stressed all the time. I think I know how Reiki is supposed to work. I've tried it twice, 2 different people, and I don't know. Have you ever had Reiki, Enzo? Do you know what it is?
Nope. I have a vague idea of what it is, but
you go in, they lay you down, but they don't lay hands on you. It's supposed to be, they just, hang on, you can see my hands. So they sort of, hover in your aura. I don't know. It's supposed to help your aura.
It's not the one where they put the hot rocks on you and different.
No, I've had that. That's good. That's just a massage. We were talking, what's the name of the drug again, Enzo?
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, yeah, and people say they see elf-like people.
Well, it's the ayahuasca is like the herb or plant or whatever, but DMT is what's in it. That's what's causing the trip, and people through experimentation in different locations under different with similar doses and stuff like that are describing the same things basically. These entities.
Tanya, yes, to a point. And the only reason I say yes to that is, again, remember, raised by a woman who believed in everything except God, believed in everything. So I know all about things. I do know that if I hold the pink one, gone blank. Shit. I've gone, not the rose one. Oh, Tanya, it's pink. Anyway, it's pink. Or is it the, anyway, it goes really, really hot in my hand to the point I've got to put it down. So I don't know why that happens. Only that particular rock. It's pink. But yeah, but I love crystals, but I don't know about healing power. I've tried it. I don't know. Could be. I don't know. I've forgotten. I'll look it up later, and I'll put a thing in to remind people of what it is. Oh, hang on. Yeah, no, I just know it's pink, and I know when I hold it in my hand, it gets really hot, and I've got to put it down. So there you go. But yeah, that's what Reiki is all about. Your energy, your aura, and crap like that. I don't know. See, I do believe and I don't believe, but I'm kind of skeptical now. I never used to be a skeptic. Hang on, that's not right. I would be skeptical of certain people, but I believed. Does that make sense? Did I just clarify myself? I think.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I love amethyst. I've got plenty of amethyst around. Maybe with amethyst, because that's not pink though, that's purple. Yeah, so I don't know, but whatever it is. Rose quartz. Yeah, it could be. Yes, I think it is. That's it. The purple. Yeah, but yeah, so I don't know. I was, as I say, I was watching Mythos. I was watching what he was talking about, and I just sort of thought to myself, yeah, that's how I feel. I get really angry when I see people say they can, Renee, this is not you. All right. People I've encountered have said, oh, I can talk to the dead, and told me, oh, your son's saying this, that, and the other thing. And I think, oh, fuck off. If my son was standing there and he could talk to you, I know exactly what he'd probably be telling you, and he's not saying it. No one's telling me anything which indicates to me that they're lying. And why do they lie? Why do they say these things? Do they think that they're helping us? Do they think they're helping the grieving by saying, oh, I can see your son? They're not. They're actually making it a million times worse. You know, but as I say, I might come across someone one day who does a reading or not a reading, who just says to me, hey, I can see him and he's telling me this and blah, blah. And it'll be so precise or so spot on that I'll have no other way but to say, oh, you know, ooh, but it's real. But it's interesting. For example, Renee, there's other people who come into my chat, bless them, who say that they're mediums and stuff. But Renee, Kenny Biddle has that magazine. Recently, someone just passed away too, connected to him, where they offer, I can't remember, Tanya, how much is it they offer someone to prove that they're psychic and have these gifts? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And like the toe tapping twins didn't take him up on it. No one has taken him up on it. And it's not actually Kenny Biddle, it's the magazine, and it's a lot of money. Tanya, you should know. You're everywhere. But yeah, you know, I would love to see someone who says to me, I am, contact Kenny and go, I'll prove it, and go prove it, because plus you'll be rich and I'll take a cut, 10%. 500,000, is it, Ian? Holy moly.
Oh yeah.
See, Renee, there's some money to pay off your mortgage or whatever. This is what I mean. And I'd love to see John Edwards do that. He probably, $500,000, that's $500,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. That pays off your house or buys you a house. You could travel for the rest of your days just about on that. But what was that? The guy blowing on the paper page was funny. What did I miss? I might have missed. Oh, are you talking about Mythos Fats? I haven't been. Yeah, no, I don't watch Kenny Biddle. I don't watch any of them anymore, to be honest. I watch Mythos. Carla, if she puts anything up, I'll watch what Carla does. Laura, I'll pop in on her lives every now and then. Crow sometimes pops up, and he's usually talking about hot dogs. So I'll watch him for a little while, but I just, yeah, I got, very disappointed is all I'll say about the paranormal community that I was a part of, and now I am no longer, or nor want to be a part of. I've still got people I speak to that are good, but so far as watching anyone's channels, I just can't be fucked. It's just can't be bothered. I can watch, I'll watch, as I say, I'll watch Mythos because his stuff, and The Shape, God, can't forget John. I'll watch him because they're funny. So they'll put stuff up. If it gets too heavy, if it's anything too heavy, I just don't watch it. But if it's like lately, Mythos has been funny. John's always funny. So I'll watch his stuff. Even if he's having to go at someone, it's still funny. And I need to laugh. I think everybody needs to laugh and not take life too serious. But so yeah, I don't, I just don't watch anymore. Thank you, Reno. Go make $500,000, woman. Oh, hello, Kathy. I haven't seen you for a little while. What's this? Aman Hillman. I don't even know what that is, Fats, but I'll look it up. Is it on the YouTube? Oh, I'm meant to. I'll have to play this carefully and pause it. No, do I really need to? I suppose not really. I don't make money on my channel anyway, but you always get hit with a copyright thing. I suppose if they hit me with a copyright for what I'm about to play, but I'll still pause it in the hopes that they don't hit me with a copyright. If they hit me with a copyright, oh, it is what it is. But there was, yes, Tanya, I know. Everybody, it's the same everywhere. Unless I happen to be awake at some stupid hour, I don't catch many. I usually catch people after the fact. Oh, hang on. What's ridiculous? I missed. I'm missing things. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. If it's funny, then it's good. If it's taking the mickey out of stuff, that's good. Yeah, Mythos was talking about in his thing, he mentioned a little old lady called Doris Stokes. And he said, I don't know who that is. This is who it is. This is Doris. Doris was a lovely old lady, and I'll show you something in a minute. She passed away in 1987, so I'm not speaking ill of the dead, all right? But I will show you, because she's dead, she can't go to Kenny Biddle and prove anything. But I'll show you a little clip in a minute. Tanya, you're probably not old enough, but we used to have a show here in Australia, a talk show, which I've spoken about before, called The Don Lane Show. Don Lane's passed away now, poor bastard. Anyway, it was kind of like, it was akin to the Johnny Carson show, same kind of format, singing, interviews, jokes, blah, blah, blah. And a spinning wheel. They did have a wheel of you could spin on and be a contestant and win prizes. That was fun. So anyway, Doris, I'll get rid of her now. Doris was an English lady who could claim to be able to converse with the dead, much like John Edwards does. So would get a crowd of people and, it's a name starting with H, blah, 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 and would do her thing. And Don Lane had her on his show a couple of times, and he really liked her. Have you heard of a man called James Randi? He's a skeptic. I think he's still alive.
The amazing Randi. I don't know if he's still alive or not. You check.
I don't know. Yeah, have a look. James Randi. He might but he absolute skeptic. He would go to town on people that said that they could do things like Uri Geller, the one that could bend spoons and
Yeah.
yeah. I remember. I'm pretty sure. Was it Jay Leno or? Oh, I think it was Johnny Carson.
Who's on Carson?
It was Johnny Carson, and Geller was on, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it.
By the way, James Randi passed away October 20th, 2020, at
Oh.
92. So.
Oh, well, you know, he was a true skeptic. Like, he really ripped into them. But there you go. Oh, hang on, Ian knows who I'm talking about. She used to buy the tickets for the. Yes, Ian, she did. I was going to get into that. I will. I'll just play this little clip. I will. I'll play this clip if I get hit with a copyright, but I'll pause it a little bit just to help myself not get a copyright. But this is a clip. I think this particular show was a clip from sort of like, you know, how a lot of these shows would do, looking back at past shows, like they do a combination of different things that happened on the show, and when they had nothing better to do, I guess, you know, sort of like in a break, like they used to do with The Nanny and stuff like that, flashbacks to old episodes. So this was a clip of a particular episode on the Don Lane show where they talk about Doris, and you see Doris do a little bit. And so we'll talk about it in a second. Where are you? There you are. I've got to check, of course, that the oh, yeah, where are we? Where are we? Why can't I find it now? It's disappeared. Give me a second. Oh, duh. All right, hang on. We'll check the sound. I think it should work. Let's have a look. Let me know if you can hear it, Enzo.
Well, here's somebody who wasn't a singer, wasn't a dancer, certainly was no Sammy Davis Jr. or Marsha Hines, but she was a lady who made more impact, I would suggest, than most guests we've had on this program in 6.5 years. She was discovered by one of our associate producers in England, flown to Australia for one appearance. Her appearance was so successful right throughout our country, she finished up making 4 appearances on our show. She did, well, you couldn't call them concert tours. I'll call them lecture tours of Australia.
Michael Leslie.
I'll just pause it there. I've probably already been hit. That's Don Lane, the American, and that's our beautiful Bert Newton. Most Australians and even New Zealanders know who Bert Newton is. He passed away a couple of years ago now, God. But Don Lane was pretty popular here in Australia, and his show would get heaps of celebrities. I mean, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Bob Hope, oh God, what was her name? Debbie Reynolds, Phyllis Diller. Like all of these really like big stars of the 60s
Sure.
and 70s would come out here. It used to be a great show. But that's Don. Bert's the one doing the talking.
40,000 people saw her in Australia at various venues as a result of 2 appearances on the Don Lane show.
Amazing.
I'm speaking from this side of Doris Stokes.
Right. Yes.
And her name is Harris. Right?
My name is Harris.
Harris.
This is
Rob
Yes,
Harris.
my mother.
That's right, and it's your mum because she said you were her baby, and she hasn't been over all that long, my darling, has she? 'Cause it's only a tiny light.
Yes.
And she said, "Don't worry about me, love. You're grieving because you weren't there
Yes.
at the end. Well, don't grieve because I'm here. I'm alive."
I'm just pausing it. But so this is how she would spend quite some time. Usually, I think Don gave her about half an hour on his show, and she would speak with the audience, and this is how she works. She's, as you can see there, she's getting on a bit. She had been on a couple of times, but I think this might have been her last performance on the show. But I feel so sorry for the people she's doing a reading for. It's just. Yeah, it's anyway.
I'm watching over you just the same as I always did. Because they're singing happy birthday, and they said, "No, not John Little one."
Yes.
Now this is Doris
Happy
actually
birthday, Michael, living here.
lecturing at the Dallas Brooks Hall in Melbourne.
Look at that.
She also went to Sydney and various other parts of Australia. As I say, she was seen by an excess of 40,000 people, which is
Absolutely
quite
incredible, isn't it?
Can I just say 40,000 people in Australia in that time period was a lot because our population wasn't exactly huge, but 40,000, that's a lot of people.
She incidentally is still in England. I believe her health has not been 100% in the last couple of months. Of course, she wouldn't be watching our program tonight, but whilst I'm a skeptic, I've never met a nicer lady. If I be a skeptic, there are also quite a few detractors of the alleged ability of Doris Stokes, one of whom you had on the program, Don. This is one of my very favourite moments in television in which I happen not to appear. This is when Don and old friend James Randi got together.
I'll just pause it for a second. Yeah, he had I think he had James Randi on twice, but this was the last time that James Randi was ever on the Don Lane show. And the bipped word is piss. Like, I'm amazed he didn't say F off, but he says piss off, but they bip it on this.
You give us a lot of lip service about all this stuff that you're going to prove. You go against a lady like Doris Stokes who never harmed anybody in her whole life, and you call her a charlatan, a fake.
You know
You
a
said-
great deal about
Yes, I do. You said that she was a liar on the radio. You called her a liar.
No.
And that woman wouldn't
No,
lie to
I have
anybody.
never
And I don't know
called
whether
the
she's
lady a
right or
liar.
wrong,
I
but
have
she wouldn't
never
lie to
told
anybody.
you
We're
she
going for a
didn't say-
commercial break, and you can pick up.
Nice fella, James.
It wasn't very long after that I lost the title of Mr. Nice Guy.
So that was there's more to that, but that's kind of it. So that shows people, and obviously Ian, who's here watching, he knows who she is. What did you say? I read a bunch of her books as a kid. The term cold reading wasn't widely known in the early 80s. No, it wasn't. We didn't. That's a thing in the 80s. This was all sort of, it had been done. Oh God, they've been doing it forever, you know, cold reading type things. And they're frigging good. Like I've seen, what do they call mentalists? I've like, for example, I was watching when he had his talk show, James Corden. He had a mentalist on. And that guy, I still don't know. It's all, you know, the way they do things. He had everybody in the audience the exact same freaking thing. Like he'd tell a story about something, then he'd ask people in the audience to draw what comes up in their mind, and they all draw the same thing. He explained how it all works. I mean, that'd be probably another episode, I guess, to explain how they do what they do. But it's kind of like mind control. I don't know what it is. Our little human brains aren't
Right.
quite.
You're
Go for it.
not far off. If you're telling a story and something like that, that's going to produce imagery in your head. And if it's very specific, you'll have a very specific image in your head about whatever it is. It is kind of a form of mind control, because you're rather than, you know, the audience in that case that you're talking about having that feeling that they know that I'm my own individual. I can make up whatever I want. But if they're planting those little seeds of how something is and how they want it to go, you're going to kind of connect those same dots and come up with a similar conclusion.
Yeah, and it's amazing, and you can find that. You can YouTube it. Just I can't think of what his name. James, just put in as a search thing, James Corden mentalist, and because he had this fellow on a couple of times, and I saw, if you were gullible, you'd think that this dude was a psychic and all of that, but that's why he does what this guy does. I can't think of his name now. He's American, but yeah, thingo. I've already voted. I did a post vote weeks ago. Yes, go have fun with Amon. and yeah, I'm not staying long anyway, but thanks for popping in. Fats like Fats Domino. Didn't he have some good music, Fats Domino? No, not Darren Brown. But yes, I know who Darren Brown is as well. And Mythos actually, in Mythos's episode that he popped up this morning, last night, whatever time it is in England, Ian, It mentions Darren, but you can't show any of Darren's. Apparently, Mythos was saying you can't show any of Darren's clips because, boom, they come in and hit you with things. So, yeah, it is what it is. But it's a shame because when you show clips, so long as you pause and whatever, you're kind of promoting their content. I guess they do it to protect people. They might do it to protect people that get called fakers or something. Oh, stuff if I know. If someone showed a clip of mine, even if they called me some horrible name, I'd still think, oh, well, someone might click on my channel to check out whether or not I really am a Karen. I don't care. But yeah, so it's all very interesting. As I say, I would love to meet someone who could absolutely prove beyond a benefit of doubt that they are real. I just never have, and I, you know, and then the other thing that I think curious as well. I've been to, for example, I've gone to investigations with. Mainly when I've gone to Virginia City, a couple of times I've gone on group investigations, not through choice, but because I wanted to hang out with a friend who was part of the, what do you call them again? I've forgotten what you call them, like a convention. Convention, that's the word. And I wanted to hang out with my friend. So I've gone along because, you know, she was doing some of these things, and I've gone along to these group investigations. During the day, at these conventions, I've met people, lovely people, absolutely nothing wrong with the people, lovely people. But then they turn into something different in the investigation stage of the convention. So I've been present when people have gone, oh, I'm a medium, I'm sensitive, and then just go into this weird, start crying and, oh, they're touching me, and, oh, I can see it over there, and it's what, and I'm like, are they mental? Probably, because the other thing that's interesting is that when I've been present at these things, because I research, because I know the history of all these places, and I know the true stories, and I know the stories that were made up, okay, it's funny to me that some of these people say, oh, the prostitute that was harmed in this room, I see her, and they call her by name. And I look at them and I think, that was a story. That's not even real. It didn't even happen. But, oh, you're a medium, and there she is. There's that woman that never existed touching you and making you feel her emotions. I'm like, oh, my God. So I'm just saying, there's people out there that seem normal, but when they can have attention focused upon them, oh boy, do they put themselves in the spotlight. Like these people, some of these people that did this had to actually be escorted out the front by the hosts, so by the celebrity hosts. Oh, you okay? I'm like, yeah, and everyone went, oh, you okay? I didn't. Not that I'm a bitch, but just that I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, I know the absolute truth about this location, and you've just said, ooh, poor me, look at me, about something that's not even freaking real. So I knew that they were bullshit. So they didn't get my attention. But they got plenty of others, like plenty of other people gave them attention. And so that also makes me think that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes there's obviously something not quite right upstairs that makes these people want or crave the attention of others, and that's the way that they get it. Now, they're not the ones that necessarily say they're psychic and can talk to the dead. They're the ones that say, oh, I'm a medium and I can see them. You know, I can see them. I see dead people. Like, so yeah, I get really cranky because I see it and I've seen it, and then I get confused because during the day when we've been eating lunch or just walking around the town or doing whatever, they seem very normal. Then all of a sudden, boom, you know, one person even said aliens abducted him while he was doing some experiment up in the room we were all in. I'm like, oh my Lord. but he was genuinely, and the woman also, they were genuinely upset. But it was just a bit scary to me because I thought they're not all there. And that's the thing too. So that's where I kind of think some people are just not all there. Some people may really have a gift, and I want them to prove it. And some people don't have a gift. Some people just say they do, and they're mentalists and they know how to work a room, and they're the ones that are really rich. So it's just, you know, you can, if somebody came to me and said they were a medium and could speak to the dead. I have been in contact. I have spoken to people that are very, very famous, not John Edwards. I mean, I've been at conventions where there've been very well-known mediums that hold seances, can talk to the dead and all that. And I've asked them flat out, here, take this, put it in your hand, tell me something. Without a doubt, because they didn't know me, right? This little Australian lady didn't know me from a bar of soap. Oh, gee, maybe it's just me. Nothing. I just don't think they're ready to talk. And I'm like, fucking liars. But then that day they'll take money from people and do the reading. You know, one of my friends got suckered in. He went to see this person, paid $100, or actually it was more. I think it was $150. Had a reading, came out of the reading and told me a whole heap of stuff. Oh my God, incredible. Oh. And then I said, did you tape it at all? You know, why? And I said, because I would love to hear the conversation. Because and then I'd say, well, did you agree? Oh, well, yeah, you know, yeah. Did you feed her any information? Did you give her anything? Oh, no, I don't think so. But I'll guarantee, because you can do it. I've done it. You can do it without actually realizing you're doing it. That's how good some of these people. You can do it without knowing.
I do feel there is a flip side to that, because usually folks that are in that kind of state are desperate for some kind of answers, like after losing a loved one and things like that. You want to hear something positive, and this person says they talked to the dead. If you feel better about yourself and about your loved one, and you feel comfort after that, that might be worth $150. It may be completely fake, and that person can't talk to anybody, but if you feel better afterwards.
Exactly. Well, that's true, and that's what I mean. Like with John Edwards, is he real? I don't know. Did he ever give me a reading? No, but I did watch his content, which at the time, just after Stephen died, his content, how he would talk about the grieving process and how to get through it. Absolutely, I didn't pay a cent for it, and it was, you know, you could get it anywhere. You can. Oh well, I bought a book, but yeah, but do you know what I mean? So yeah, it helped me, but he never pretended. Well, with me, I mean, I've had people tell me, like I've said before earlier, people say, oh, he's here with you, he's doing this up, but they tell me nothing. So that's where I was trying to go, Ian, with how you said you can't prove the unprovable. I think you can. So if someone can really speak to the dead, if they really can converse with the dead, let's just say, say someone spent a day with me who says they can speak to the dead. One would assume that even if they couldn't speak to my son, they could speak to someone that's dead that I know, you'd guess. So the point is, if someone came to me, said, I'm a medium, I can talk to the dead, and told me they were talking to my son, I'd say, well, what's he got to tell me? Usually, when I've seen people in the past, it's he's telling me to tell you he's okay. Okay, great. What else is he telling you? Oh, he's watching you. He's keeping an eye on you. So they tell you all the stuff that, oh, that's going to comfort you, but no one tells
Right.
you anything specific. So someone could actually tell me something very specific to my son that I know that he would say. He's my son. I know what he would say, or I know that if he's keeping an eye on me, and because I speak out loudly to him all the time, he'd know exactly what it is I need to hear. No one's ever told me, ever. Now, if I spoke to someone and they told me an absolute specific that no one else would know, then for me, I'd think, well, fuck me, you're real. Do you know what I mean? But I still think that all these people that are saying, I am, $500,000, freaking hell. If I thought I was, I'm sorry, no one's going to earn the $500,000. Why not? It's $500,000. Go get it. Prove it. And then you will be worth billions. Actually, I fell asleep last night listening to Joe Rogan talk to, who was it? He just had him on his podcast yesterday. A guy from the they were talking about what's that thing that you can see things from far away? You know,
Remote viewing. That was I watched a little bit of that myself.
You did. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Hal,
Yeah,
something. Hal. Damn it.
fascinating. I'll just hang on. I'll see if I can bring it up and I can put the clip. So my point in that is what he was saying about the fella he did the tests on. That was fascinating.
You know who that person was, right?
No, I was falling
Yuri-
asleep.
It was Uri Geller, is who he
Oh.
was working with.
Uri Geller went inside something and changed it. Oh no. Well, oh no. Oh no, I'm so upset. Because he didn't, did he say his name?
He didn't. That's the thing, is he didn't say it, but his name is Hal Puthoff, is the person that Joe was talking to. And basically he was around the beginning of what America called the Project Stargate, which was their early work of the remote viewing program that they had developed. And Hal Puthoff is a physicist, genuine article, very smart guy, blah, 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 blah. But he got, in his earlier days, he would get pulled into these weird things that people didn't understand, like that, and like UFO tech and stuff, like a lot of weird stuff that he's strangely tied to. And Hal Puthoff was one of these people that, and he doesn't ever mention the name, but it's Uri Geller is who it was he was working in those early days. And he even admitted, yeah, I mean, obviously, any asshole with a little training can bend spoons, but he seemed to feel that Uri did have these abilities where he's describing things in a sealed off container and drawing pictures of what's on the inside of it. There's no way he would know that. And they were all very, and he was trying to, do all the things. I'm sure he let some things slip that Uri Geller is a stage magician. So that's the thing about Uri Geller, is he'll tell you right to your face that, oh yeah, these are magic trick things that I'm doing. And then spin right around in the very next sentence is like, no, I'm using my inner mind to see beyond the veil, or whatever it is he would say. It's like, well, which one is it? He's like, it's both.
And that was because as I say, I was falling asleep. I'm so stressed that I can't even sleep. I've got to try and just. So he did mention that same person. The CIA approached him and wanted to get in touch with this person that he had done the study on. And the CIA provided envelopes, boxes, all sorts of things to this person. And apparently this person guessed everything correctly as to the contents of envelopes and boxes. So that was Uri Geller. I don't know what I think about this fellow then.
Well, that's the thing, is that was like his early days stuff. like a proof of concept stuff. He's like, okay, there might be something to it. So we'll train other people to get in these things. And they did. And they trained a whole lot of other people after Uri Geller. So it wasn't like Uri Geller was the star
only
of the
one.
entire thing and all that stuff. It's just that was kind of like the foot in the door of the whole thing. But
Yeah.
I did notice he specifically didn't mention the name because of your reaction, because everybody's like, oh God, I remember when he was on Johnny Carson and he said he was moving the paper on the desk and he was actually just blowing it. You couldn't see that off camera. Stuff like that, just straight up, sleight of hand magic trick type stuff.
That episode actually with Johnny Carson, Johnny wasn't happy.
Because Johnny also did a little stage magician stuff himself in his early days. He's like,
he knew.
What are you doing?
It's just, yeah, he knew. I liked Johnny Carson. I really liked him. Well, I mean, I couldn't watch his show here in Australia at the time because they just didn't show it here. But I watch it. I knew who he was, and I watch it now on the YouTube, and I just think, no one does it like him anymore. He was unique. But I watched actually a little bit off subject, or a lot off subject. I was watching, I was doing some research on Jane Mansfield, the actress that was killed in the car accident. And there was an episode, I think I've mentioned this before, but it's been a while since I watched it. And there was an episode with her and she brings her children out. It was on, oh God, what was the name? It wasn't Dick Cavett. It was way back before Carson, or at the same time as Carson, but different presenter. I've forgotten. Anyway, she comes out and he had a like Johnny had a guy off to the side. I've gone blank with all their names. But this fellow did too. So out comes Jane with her children, absolutely gorgeous. One of the little girls, Jane, I think her name was Jane or Jeanne or something. She was only a toddler. Oh my God, super funny. Comes out, and just the stuff they said to her was, now I'm all in for a sexist joke because I'm not old fashioned. Like, you can make jokes. It's all good. Women make jokes about men. Men make jokes about women, whatever. But I kind of thought, ew, it's creepy. The little girl was sitting. Oh, it was creepy. The little girl was sitting next to the grown man, and the host, oh, why can't you remember his name, goes, I'll give him, to the little girl, I'll give him a kiss. Go on. I'm like, ew. She doesn't even know this man. Gross. And then Jane said, because she had the little baby, and she goes, oh, he's just hungry. And the guy, not the host, the sidekick, goes, oh, you can feed him here. We won't mind. And I thought, oh, my God. Even for me, like if I were Jane, I would have got, she just laughed. She was a class act. She just laughed it right off. She didn't bite. She didn't go for it. But I thought to myself, ew, creepy. Like Johnny Carson, he would make every now and then a little joke, but he was different. He was a gentleman. Like you'd see him like, oh, I don't know, like I don't know which way to look type thing. Whereas this other guy just, ugh. But there you go. What's Ian say? Geller is considered a crank these days. It was fun to watch back then. It was, like, that's the thing. We were so uneducated as to, we really were, like me as a young girl, especially the way I was brought up to believe, oh, everything mystical, magical. And you would watch these things and not know, like a magic trick, not know. I still watch magic tricks today and think, how the hell do they do that? And I know it's magic, like I know it's sleight of hand and diversion tactics and all that sort of thing, but still, even when you watch really closely, like you know they're doing something, you think, oh, I still can't see how they're doing it. It's fascinating. But yeah, like Ian, when we used to watch that stuff back then, we all thought, oh God, fascinating, that's real. But that's how when I was listening to that Hal Puthoff last night, I was like, he was talking about some stuff and I did fall in and out of the sleep, so I'm not sure, but I thought, oh, that stuff again, the being able to see things from afar and all that. Like they put, didn't they, that study, didn't they get a whole heap of kids or something? Or am I getting that mixed up with something else? Like the CIA there was something they did with kids and mind games and shit, and
There
I'm
there
like,
was a bunch of things all happening kind of around the same time in the 60s and 70s. You might be mixing in MK Ultra stuff that they did out in Long Island.
MK
Where,
Ultra. That's what I was thinking of.
that,
Yeah, Long
that
Island.
that's the super dark side. That's very ugly
Yeah,
stuff. Man.
like some super. So that's what I mean. I do. The totality of it all is that I don't believe everybody that says they're a medium, but they might be. I don't know. It's just my experience and what I've learned. None of them are. They either want attention or money. Absolutely happy to be proven wrong. Absolutely. Like if I met someone and they said they were, and they gave me something that you could, like, you know, could absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, I do know what someone could tell me to prove that they're real. I do, but I'm never going to hear it because I don't think anyone's real. That's my opinion. That's just what I think. And for whatever reason that people believe that they can, well, then prove it. You're not going to be able to prove it to me unless I hear those things in particular. Or something else. I've got plenty of other dead relatives that are specific, that I need to know stuff that only the dead person would know. I would still love my auntie's recipe for a particular cake she baked. If she could talk to me, I'd love the specifics. Do you know what I mean? Like there's things, but I don't know. So I can't say that people claiming to be mediums are not mediums or psychic, because I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think so. I think, but if they are, please prove it. Prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong. I want to believe. I really do, because then
Right.
Good. If you really can, then great. I will spend a day with you and I'll ask you all this stuff and you can catch me up on everything. But it's funny, no one can ever be specific. Like I say, if they don't want to give you a reading, they'll say, oh, they're just not here. At this moment, I can't make contact. Or they'll say something along the lines of, oh, I see them, I feel their presence, but I can't, I use images in my mind to understand what they're saying to me. And, does this image fit? Like no one, that's how John Edwards does it as well, like images. And I think, no, if you can seriously speak to the dead, if you can see someone walk in front of you and they're telling you something, do you really think they're going to waste their time trying to tell you something akin to your knowledge? They'll freaking tell you. Like, it drives me nuts. I think you can tell. But
when it comes to stuff like that, I always kind of roll back to Harry Houdini, who went in and was just smashing down, seances and stuff like that when he was alive. And he had like secret code words with his friends and family. It's like, when I die, I'm going to try and contact you again. And this is how you're going to know it's me and not some knucklehead in a dark room with a table with a crooked leg on it. And they're saying, yeah, he's moving the table or whatever it is. All the tricks. And that never manifested. He never was able to contact him. So
and that's the thing. And I think a lot of people, like my kids, know, hey, if anything happens and I die, this is what I'll do. And I'm not going to change my mind when I get to the other side. Like if I get to the other side, wherever that might be, and I think there is another side, but if I get there and someone over there says, oh, no, you can't do that, you can only go through this person who says they're a medium, I'll go, oh, no, I said I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. So, it's just Tanya's got a good point here. Psychics shouldn't have to ask you questions. They should already know the answers and be more sure of what they are telling you. Exactly. But exactly.
They should be calling you. It's like, hey, I have a very important message from your lost loved one.
Yeah. Like,
This is going to cost. It'll cost you a couple bucks because it's costing me to call you and whatever for sit down for a meeting if you don't mind. But I got this for you.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But if I could see dead people, if I had that gift, if you want to call it a gift, I think it'd be a bloody nightmare. But anyway, if I had that gift, and someone from the other side was trying to get a message to a loved one, I wouldn't think of asking for money. I'd just be thinking, oh my God, okay, no worries. And someone might make the argument, oh, well, if you really had the gift, you might be getting asked by hundreds and thousands of people every day to get messages to their bereaved relatives. Well, okay, then I will. But I'll go to somewhere and prove that what I'm doing is real. I don't know, Kenny Biddle.
It would be like Whoopi Goldberg's character in Ghost, where once all the other ghosts found out that she could actually see what all this other whole hassle on her.
That was funny. That was funny. But yeah, I just think, well, okay, then I'd have to say to the dead, hey, my hours are between 9 to 5. No worries. But I'd go to Kenny Biddle and say, I'm going insane because I'm getting all these messages. I've got to eat. That would be a different thing. That would be like, I might need some financial assistance but I wouldn't be asking the people, like, say, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be asking the people that were grieving for money. I'd be thinking, shit, I need here $500,000. Don't give it to me all at once. Just pay me a wage and I'll sit and I'll do this for people to help them. But I've still got to pay my mortgage and I've still got to eat. So help me out, but I don't want money from the actual people. So I don't know if that's kind of saying that I would do it for money. I guess it's just you'd have to be practical, that if that was really a situation and you couldn't turn them off, or you couldn't, and you could really see them and hear them, you'd want to help everybody. But again, which takes me back to when I was at the Ancient Ram Inn and had that wash come over me. I still can't. That's what I mean. I still believe in something, but something that night in the Ancient Ram Inn, something just hit me and said, you're not allowed to know. No one's allowed to know. We can't play that game. You're not allowed to know. So I think even that, as much as we would love a message from our deceased people, it's probably a good thing that we don't get a message from them. Because in our darkest hour, when we miss them too much, if we get someone telling us that they're there and they're watching us, and you go through that, and you go through those hours of, I just don't want to wake up in the morning. And if you know that they're there, or you think they are, like if it's proven, then there's every possibility that you will be there with them tomorrow. And that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to think of ending yourself to be with a dead relative. It's just not. So I just don't think that we're allowed to know. I just don't think so. And I think that possibly from the other side, it may be controlled. So I don't really know. I don't know how to really articulate what I'm trying to say. I think I'm making sense. I might not be, but I kind of think that night at the Ancient Ram Inn, when we were asking all these questions and we got really deep into the, hey, when you died, did a family member come and take you and all that sort of thing? All of a sudden, I know it sounds weird, all of a sudden there was just this wash of, not emotion, just like a realization. Everything went really quiet. It wasn't fun anymore. It was like, whoa, shit. No, you're not allowed to know. We can't play with you anymore. We're not allowed to tell you anything. It's just really, I can't explain it, but I don't think we're allowed to know. That's why I think when people go to investigate haunted places, they don't really get proof. They think they do, but they don't, because if they had real proof, it's proof beyond a questionable doubt. But no one's ever got proof beyond a questionable doubt, ever. And I don't think they ever will. I just think we're not allowed to know. We've got to have faith that when we go somewhere different and we may be reunited with the people that we love. But we can't really know that because otherwise, if we really know that, then we might want to go sooner than we should. And that's not, like I said, that's not a good thing. So I don't know. I just think there's some, I just don't know. Is anything I'm trying to say making a bit of sense?
I totally understand what you're saying. Is there's because even like we were talking about remote viewing a minute ago, is I've seen some of the stuff that these guys were reporting on, and even that was fairly vague. It was usually it was never. It's even today. I don't think it's not really a primary means of intelligence gathering. It's kind of to get you in the ballpark or to verify some other small piece of information you have. It's just a piece of the puzzle that you have to work with all the other stuff. There's never any of it that directly says, well, this person says, hey, yeah, your brother that passed away 2 months ago, he says, go to the library and open up to page 237 of his favorite book, and there's $100 in there. It's all yours. Whatever. That doesn't happen. Not really.
No, like, yeah, thanks, Tanya. I just, that's what I mean. And it's taken me 62 years to come to the realization that that's just how it's meant to be. I do believe in something. I do believe because of, look, when Stephen was killed, for the first couple of weeks there, it was weird and weird things happened. Weird things happened. But then when you're grieving, your brain, you don't function properly. You really don't. Right. You really don't. You're not functioning on all cylinders, or firing on all cylinders. Is that the word? But weird things did happen, like weird things that I can't explain. So henceforth, the word paranormal and its meaning. So paranormal stuff did happen, but it could have had an explanation, a realistic explanation. But because of my grief and my need, I took it as something it wasn't. It was odd. But it's almost also too, it stopped after a couple of weeks. And I've said this before, that I'm wondering, I'm wondering if it's like when you do die and you cross over, is there some allowance on the other side for you to still float around for a couple of weeks? But then that's it, boom, over you come. That's it, enough. I don't know. But a lot of people, I did ask, I don't know, probably not, Betty's probably not lurking, but I did ask Betty. I even asked Deanna. But I've asked people, anything happen? Like, what is there anything? Because I wanted validation for what happened to me after Stephen died. I've asked other people since, when it's new, when they're past, anything happen that made you feel like they were there or whatever. And yeah, it did, but then it stopped. So that's why I wonder if there is, I'll find out when I die. But I do believe there's something, because this world is just way too weird, like so much stuff, but then our little brains, we are easy to control as well. We don't, even though we know something's wrong, oftentimes because of crowd mentality, we just go along with it. Even though if we're by ourselves and actually look at something, we think, oh, that's not right. But you're in with a crowd or a group of people that, oh, yes, it is, yes, it is, yes, it is, and you roll with it. So humans and the way our little brains work, we're pretty complex. So I don't know, but I still think
a lot of these cases, it's, after losing a loved one, you go through a traumatic event, you're searching for answers for things that we just don't have answers for, what happens to that person after life. And there are people that say they can talk to them. And for a lot of people that are desperate and hungry for those answers, will open themselves up to that. And as I said earlier, you might get charged some money, but if you feel better afterwards, you're okay with it. I kind of view that as kind of okay. It's now if they're telling you crazy stuff to go and invest in their their cousin Bill's dry cleaning place or something like that, then okay, maybe that's a little different. But it's those times where people are desperate for it, because you can also have somebody that falls on hard times and they're down on their luck and nothing seems to be coming together, and they're just looking for answers from somebody, anybody that isn't the same old hey, you just gotta buck it up and things will turn around. When sometimes you get into those scenarios where just nothing is going right for you, and you have someone that says, hey, I can answer all your questions for this nominal fee. And again, if it ends up helping you, okay, that's kind of a good thing. Is it real? Maybe not, but it's what you needed to hear at that time.
But it gets you
Kinda get
through.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I did that after Stephen and Tanya, big kiss. Hey Dee. Yeah, like when Stephen died, I've had, my mum died, my uncle that I loved and he raised me, he died, but I never had the need, because I'm old, and I never had the need to seek out a medium, to have a medium tell me anything specific to them. But when I lost Stephen, different kettle of fish. He was my baby, and the circumstances were horrendous. So I did seek out people because I wasn't good. I was not good. And unfortunately, like I said, one of them told me, because I went in there not wanting to say anything too much. I wanted them, but one of them told me he was going to give me more babies, more grandchildren. A lot of them said nothing, and it was focused on, your mum's passed. Well, blur, duh, not, and it wasn't your mum's passed. It was, an older female figure's passed. It's probably your grandmother. Waiting for me to go, no. I never bit. I went, could be. But
Could
no
be.
one, no one, no one,
You don't know.
one. Nobody was able. So you could see what was going on. So it's sad, but like I said, I want to believe. But if you tell me you're a medium and you want me to believe you, then please go to someone like Kenny Biddle, who can put you in a situation where if they can check it out, prove it, then I'll be happy. If you're not willing to do that, then I don't know. What's that mean? It's $500,000. Even the toe chapping twins, what's his name? Jason Hawes' daughter and stuff. $500,000 is nothing to sniff at. And they didn't even take them up. That's because they're fake. So, it is what it is. Dee, the dreams are weird too. I should ask you, Enzo, because I've never really asked Enzo any questions before, but in regard to this, I've asked Enzo plenty of questions, but you know what I mean. Like that weird thing I did, a couple of months ago, and I made a little episode on it where I woke up and the text message was there to my son. I'm like, what the? So I've grabbed my phone while I'm asleep, opened my phone, which is, fingerprint, opened my phone in my sleep, scrolled through my contacts to find Stephen's phone number, hit on the thing to send a message, and it was nonsensical, like blah, 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 all stupid letters. I didn't send it, but then I put my phone down. So, and then my phone's made a noise and I picked up my phone. That was freaky, Dee. Freaky. How do people do it? But it happens. People actually text in their sleep. So there you go. But what's that?
People do a lot. Answer.
I mean, have you ever had anything weird like that happen to you that you can't explain?
Well, not explain is you can do a lot of crazy stuff, especially if you're exhausted, tired, where you're basically sleepwalking. You were sleep texting, I would say, in that particular case.
Yeah.
And that's not unheard. Had you ever slept walk or anything like that in the past, like when you were a kid? Because I used to sleepwalk a lot when I was a kid, apparently. And where it would just be basic, getting up and just kind of walking around, and whoever was awake, and I was like, "What are you doing? Back to bed." Okay, and just go back to bed. but I had no memory of it. I don't, nothing like that. And I, would have to blame something more that's a brown liquid in a bottle for certain other incidents where I've woken up and found like a
Oh, I think
half-eaten
we've all
burrito
done that.
laying on my stomach. Yeah, things like that.
Or you've woken
But,
up near that really nice looking lady that you want to chew your arm off to
Yeah.
get away from.
You looked a lot better when I was drunk, so I do that.
Don't worry, women do that too. Oh my God.
But
No.
you can do things like that. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that, especially if you're in an exhaustive state where you're flipping in and out of sleep. Like for me, I need something to do to keep on a regular like schedule, because I'll sit around like right now, the last few months, really, I will sleep like 3 hours and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night and that's it. I'm awake. So I'll stay awake for like 12 more hours. And it's like, now I'm exhausted again. And I'll fall asleep for like 3 or 4 more hours and do the whole cycle over again. So really I'm sleeping twice a day, but only like 3 hours each pop. And I've certainly found myself thinking and getting these ideas for things in my head that when I look at it later after I've had some rest, I'm like, yeah, that's stupid. That would never work.
Oh, I can hear it. Can you hear that growl? I can hear. It's all right. It's not a ghost. I'm in my
What is it?
garage. It's either a cat or my dog's escaped. You can't hear that? No, you can't. I'm just, I don't know what it is. I hope my dog hasn't got out. The Chihuahua, the naughty one. Hang on, I'll just send a message to another child.
There.
That one.
No, I remember.
There's four adult children in the house. I mean, surely one of them can go check what I can hear. If it's my dog, oh well, it's obviously hanging around out there. It's like a growl, like a. So I don't know what it is. Oh, I don't know. The mystery. Yeah, so I don't know. I hope I haven't insulted people too much with my views on things, but it's just my views. It's my opinions. And I can't say that people aren't what they say they are, because I don't know. They could be. I'm just saying, if you are what you say you are, there's ways to prove it and prove it. And, it's easy. It's easy to say to somebody, even to someone you've only met for a few minutes, it's easy to say words if you pick up on them, especially if they're coming to you because they're grieving, or they're obviously, if you go to see a medium, something's happened, someone died, so it's not a stretch. Often I think they pick up on your age, what sex you are. Women generally, maybe if it's not the loss of a dear departed, it's who am I going to marry? Will I meet a nice man? My mother was obsessed. She never remarried. She met a nice man, but she never remarried. But some women are obsessed. Like, will I meet a nice person? Will I meet a man? Will something good happen? And that's why they go to see a medium. Now, that's an easy one. If you're a medium or you read the tarot, it's easy to put out some shit to someone. They're going to walk away months later, go, oh, what did she say again? Or meet someone or not meet someone. My mum always got told, I don't know, at one point she got told she wouldn't meet someone, or at one point she got told she'd meet someone who had dark hair and was, well dressed. I'm like, really? You go to the supermarket, you can bump into someone with dark hair and be well dressed. So yeah, I've gone from a true believer to being a little bit skeptic to being really skeptic, and to the point where I've cut myself off from the paranormal community, other than a few, because it's just a whole heap of crap. Like, continued bullshit. It's exhausting mentally. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Not me then. What do you mean? What did I say? But yeah, so it is interesting. None of my adult children are checking my messages, Enzo, which means, lucky for everybody, I'm probably going to have to end this because I need to go and check if that is my animal out there, and what all the noise and kerfuffle is, because nobody, 4 grown children in the house, 4 adult children. The youngest is 20. F me. None of them can go and look. I've had it. They're not getting dinner tonight. Oh, well, my mum's dead now, so what am I saying? You would have been way too young for her. Oh dear. Look, it's been a good chat. Thank you, Enzo. And Enzo, hang around. I'll finish this and I'll figure out another way to contact you other than because I don't look at my emails all the time. Yeah, I better go and check.
For anybody who didn't catch it earlier, someone's hacked into my Facebook account. If you're getting messages from me on Facebook, it ain't me. I will never ask you for money. I will never ask you to sign a loan or whatever it is that people do when they hijack people's accounts now.
Or as Tanya, you'll never ask anyone to go out with them.
That's right. Sorry.
Sorry, Tanya. Oh, look, thank you for listening to me, guys. And yeah, just all my opinions and things. I mean, who knows, eh? And Ian, lovely to see you. Dee, lovely to see you. Tanya, it's great to have seen you today. I never know what time to go live. Now, I won't be going live tomorrow because it's my daughter, it's her 22nd birthday, and I want to do something fun with her. And next week, I did apply for my visa a bit too late. Stupid me thought I was exempt from needing, because I'm Australian, I was exempt from needing a visa to go to Vietnam. Oops. But I applied for one yesterday, so we should be right. But it is my dog. I think it is the Chihuahua. Now I heard a growl.
Hey, better get going.
I better get going. But yeah, so I won't be going live next weekend, or if I do, I'll let you know. All right, everybody, I'm going to go and check that that's not my dog. I love you all. Thanks for listening. Bye. Oh.